Dr. Gill, tell us about your Chattisgarh series. That's a series about the indigenous people of India, the Adivasis in Andhra Pradesh, in one of the provinces of India. How did you get interested in, or how did you find out about going there? Like, what inspired all this?
Yeah, well, this Chattisgarh was part of Andhra Pradesh, MP, Madhya Pradesh actually. And it was carved out of that one when the Rajas of Chattisgarh, they wanted, which Congress party says they also have something to do with that one for establishing it, and the present government also says that they are the one, and there are about, they say 36 Rajas or Maharajas, but actually they are not 36 or 30, there may be around 25. I got interested. I was not interested, but it was a few years ago. I was invited by one of the universities in Chattisgarh, and the vice chancellor of that university is from royal family, and she was very much interested, and later she established a chair also on my name for further studies. And also she announced publicly, that came in the newspapers also there, that I am always invited and stay at the university whenever and as long as I want. So that was a good thing. And later I met also the Raja of that that area where that university is established. But actually it started from Rajkumar College, where I was invited after that university, and that Rajkumar College was run by the British government, and its principal used to be always an Englishman. And even now that grace, that beauty is there. And after the talk, they made my arrangement at the guest house, and that college now, that college was meant only for prince and princesses, but now anyone can, who can afford, can study there. But as far as management is concerned, that is still in the hands of the former rulers. So they often come. So when they made my arrangement that night, I had my food in my room because I was tired. But in the morning, when I went there for breakfast, and this gentleman, and he spoke impeccable English, and he offered me plate, and he said, and I was just shocked before that, I never met. He said that he's former, not only that, he said that he's ruler of Bastar state. And he said he should not say he's a ruler. Actually, government has removed those, dethroned all the rulers, but he has been installed by his own people again. And then he, from his room, he brought the slides and showed me slides, and he said these slides are not that much interesting. It is not catching the very spirit of that coronation. And but he was explaining. Now he said a few things which caught my interest. He said that his whole family was assassinated by the establishment. And that was the interest, and he said that he wants somebody to write that history, also to make a movie. And he invited me to his palace, Bastar state. He said it's larger than Scotland and even Belgium, that's that state. And that is all populated with aboriginals called Adivasi. And he invited, and I said, okay, but why I got interested was that he said that it has a unique culture, different. And later some other Rajas, because they were also staying in that college, it was run by former Rajas, and some of them invited me to his estates. I couldn't go, life is it's not that convenient in India. I was tired and went for some other purpose, but they respected me, and provided everything, whatever I needed, and even at their place and their houses and their food particularly, I enjoyed. I enjoyed prince and princesses and those people. They look different. So next year when I went again, then I met this Maharaja of Bastar. I was invited by Bastar University, and he invited me to his palace, and he showed me the place which the whole family was assassinated, and he showed me that how the blood flew in the whole palace, and they made hole to flow out that blood. So that got my interest, and I wanted to write about that. But later I found, after when I met other Rajas and other people, I found it has a unique culture. It is not the same like the culture we find in the rest of India. And as far as the history is concerned, I was interested in
So,
my
well,
culture.
what would you say? That was the Adivasi culture, or it was even different from Adivasi also? It's just
No,
like...
it was a different Adivasi culture. That area, Chattisgarh, is Adivasi.
It's
Hindu
unique, very unique.
Very unique, very exotic.
Wow.
And not only that exotic, even Hindu culture is very old, but that culture of Adivasi is much older, more than even 5,000 years old.
Wow. So did you end up writing about him in your stories?
Oh yeah, then I have completed Chattisgarh series,
Okay.
and it is on my website, stephengill.ca. So stephengill.ca, www.stephengill.ca,
Yes.
and the whole those chapters which I have written, the whole novel is there, and it is being translated in Urdu and Hindi also, and also in Romanian language. And but I found it is a very interesting culture, and people particularly, not only people from India, even people from outside of India, particularly in the West, in Canada, and they will also be interested. So at certain places I compared the culture of Adivasi with Aboriginals of Canada, because some people have written, compared whatever I have said with the poetry and mythology or something of Aboriginals of Canada. They have written. I studied that of India, and then I compared them. And not only that I compared, I also wrote about them. I spoke about them. I gave lectures also, and certain things which came out, they were very, very interesting, and which I have described. That's very. I found out that Ramayana was written there in that area 5,000 years back.
So you mean Tulsidas wrote it there?
Not Tulsidas, this Valmiki.
Valmiki.
His cottage.
Rishi Valmiki. Okay.
Yeah, his cottage is there.
His cottage is there. That means Sita's sons were born there?
Sita's son, well, I think.
Love Kush.
Yeah, exactly. He was born, but it's not that part. What the part is important is that Raman's sister,
Rupnaka.
Rupnaka, she belonged to that area.
Wow.
Even Ramchandra's stepmother, Kakai, was also from there, from that area. Not very, very far. And as far as Rupnaka is concerned, her husband owned that area.
Okay.
But when he was killed by Ravan, his brother-in-law, then she became enemy of his own brother because he killed her husband. And but there are so many stories. So one story is what is in the Ramayana of Valmiki. Another story is what Adivasi says. They have their own oral traditions about Ravan, because Ravan was Adivasi, about Sita, about other. They don't believe that she was abducted, Sita, by Ravan. They say that Ravan was very good looking person, though he was a black, but he was a tall, he was a musician, he used to play veena, like that, and he started playing that music, and in this way he entrapped Sita, and Sita followed. That's what they say. those
Interesting
Adivasis.
stories, yeah.
And she followed him, and she was just charmed by that music.
Wow.
So things like that are very unique and different. Their culture, still they don't believe in medical science. They still believe in black magic and these kind of
sorcery,
things. And
yeah.
they want to treat. That's a big problem there. but they do it. And,
But are there any hospitals there, any medical
well,
clinics
there
there?
are actually, at Buster when I spoke,
Uh-huh.
and there was one teacher, one lady, she stood up after that. Normally I give time to people to ask questions, and she stood up and she said that there is one problem. They want to make use of Western knowledge, technology, medical science.
But
at the same time, they will love their own culture. They want to preserve their own culture.
preserve it. I guess what really happens with them is they don't want to embrace the Western culture at the expense of theirs. So kind of like a fusion. They want fusion of both.
But
So the
at
best
same
of
time-
both, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, they want to preserve. So I said, you can make it little longer, but eventually it will fuse. How you can
But
stop
fuse in a
music?
sense like you have the best of both.
But you have to learn.
Yeah.
Best of, but you cannot 100% preserve your own culture.
No.
Because by fusion of another culture will evolve.
Yeah, culture is not static
Yeah,
anyways.
that is an evolvement.
Okay.
So that's what I said. But her problem was to preserve her culture.
Okay.
And that's what I said, that in order to preserve your culture, you have to preserve. Don't think that Western will come or Indian government come or somebody will come and preserve your culture. You have to do it yourself. Then other people will come. That's what I told her. But anyhow, their contribution to medical science, Ayurveda particularly, their contribution to music of India,
Okay.
another, their contribution, even that Rajneesh is so famous, he learned from them actually.
Rajneesh?
Rajneesh. And
Okay.
he lived among those people, and then he practiced something different.
Okay.
And Tantra Yoga, which he made money, but he used for making money. But that's their way of life is slightly different. But he made changes in that for what he bought.
So we can read all about this in your Chattisgarh series.
in this series.
And the series are available on your website.
Yeah, on the website.
And soon, I guess, we'll be expecting a book on it also.
Yeah, it is.
Because all those series are going to be, they're part of the book, right?
Yeah. So it is being published. And but
So that'll give us a great insight into the Indian culture. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
In a way.
It talks about Indian culture and also about Adivasi culture.
Okay.
And about their fusion.
Okay.
And about enmity that they have, about certain stories, mythologies which they have evolved.
Okay, so that is all part of the series.
That's all
there.
there.
Great.
So in
That's
that.
great. So we will look forward to going on the website.
Yes,
That's
certainly.
www.stephengill.ca.
Yeah, stephengill.ca.
And
There's a
we'll
lot.
enjoy reading those stories.
Yeah,
Very
please do,
interesting. And you can also read them on Bharat Times as well.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because I've been putting them periodically on Bharat Times issue as well.
Yeah, you have already put once.
Yeah.
And
it's
I will
continuing.
appreciate-
Yeah.
And I will appreciate receiving comments also. That's
Sure.
very important.
Yeah, it is. It is.
People
It is.
have already commented. I have received several comments, but I want more comments.
Okay.
That people,
Cool.
tell me,
Sure.
or do they like? What do
Okay,
they
so
feel.
they can send you comments
On
via
my
email
website.
on your website, on your
Website,
email,
yeah,
etc.
And my email address is there.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
the website.
Great. Thank you
So,
very much, Dr.
Yeah,
Gill.
I appreciate that
Okay.
you asked me this question. You have given me an opportunity to express myself particularly, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Bharat Times.
Thanks.
Yeah.